Hi, I am Jenny with Roadtrip Nation, and welcome to Cross Section. Cross Section is a live series all about exploring your interests and showing you cool jobs that connect you to the things that you love. And today, we're talking all about digital content creation. I'll be your host, and we're here with our first guest, video producer and lifestyle host, Lucy Fink. Hey, Lucy. And as always, I also have my co-host here with me. Hey, Carla.
Hey, Lucy. Hey, Jenny. So excited for today's
Hey.
conversation.
Me too. So, in just a few minutes, I'll be talking to my really good friend Barbara Lee, who's a front end developer for Goop. Here at Roadtrip Nation, we love exploring the intersection of interests and showing you jobs and career paths you may have never thought of. So, we're very excited from Barbara about what it's like to use computer science to build the websites and platforms we all share our lives on. But first, we have Lucy Fink. Lucy is a video producer and lifestyle host. You may know her from her YouTube series, Try Living with Lucy and Lucy for Hire. And fun fact, she's also a stop motion artist who's made videos for brands like Oreo and SoulCycle. Welcome, Lucy.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. This is so fun. I love YouTube Live.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited that you're here. We're going to dive in with Lucy in just a second, but first, we want to play a game that we love to play with our guests. It's called GPS, Gotta Pick Something. All right, Lucy, just to help our audience get to know you real quick, we're going to play a quick round of GPS. How it works is I'll give you two options and you just got to pick something.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Do you prefer teaching or learning?
Definitely learning.
What about working with others or working independently?
With others.
Having a new job every week or being your own boss?
Being my own boss.
Nice. Planning every detail or going with the flow?
Going with the flow.
Would you rather have a phone with no camera or a phone with no internet?
Oh my gosh. Phone with no camera. I can find a camera elsewhere.
That's good. That's smart. Only using simple sentences or only using compound complex sentences?
Only using compound complex sentences.
Very nice. What about growing your own vegetables or grow your own coffee beans?
Vegetables, and I already have a ton growing in my New York City apartment here.
Oh, that's amazing. What about live content or recorded content?
Recorded content whenever possible, although I'm very excited to be on this live.
Instagram or YouTube?
YouTube.
And just a few more, taking a risk or playing it safe?
Taking a risk, 100%.
5 days of being a morning person or 5 days of cold showers?
5 days of being a morning person is a little bit easier for me.
Yeah. Okay, last one. 5 days of no phone or 5 days of no social media?
Oh, wow. I think 5 days of no social. No, let's go with the phone. No phone. I could be on social media on my computer all day.
Very good. That's it. You made it through GPS. Thank you so much for playing that. Now that
That
we're
was
all
fun.
warmed up, can you just tell us a little bit more about your work and how you got started as a video producer and lifestyle host?
Absolutely. So I really started my journey back in 2014. That was when I graduated from college. And my first job out of school was at Ogilvy and Mather, the advertising agency. And I was working there as an associate producer. I was not on camera. I was really behind the scenes learning about how to create video content and entertainment content for brands. And I really wanted to do something like what I'm doing now, which is create video content and lifestyle content that I get to produce and be the face of and script and edit and essentially communicate with other
Yeah.
women around my age. And I really wanted to do that, but it didn't really seem like a job opportunity at the time, until through a very great connection that I made at Ogilvy, I wound up making the switch to Refinery 29. Actually, this woman who worked at Ogilvy became the COO of Refinery 29 in 2015 and brought me over. And I got to start doing just that for Refinery 29 on YouTube. And they sort of let me, pick whatever video series I wanted that I thought would perform well and that I thought the audience would relate to. And I chose the 5-day challenge format, Try Living with Lucy. And then after a couple of years of doing that, I expanded to produce Lucy for Hire so I could try other people's jobs and put myself to the test. And fast forward, another few years, we're now in 2020, and I left Refinery 29 full-time last year so that I could build my own brand and establish my own media company. And so now I just create content on my own. So my own YouTube channel, my own Instagram account. I still occasionally do 5-day challenges or trying other people's jobs, but I'm really just kind of creating all types of content all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. What a dream job. So you're talking about, these 5-day challenges. Your niche used to be, taking on these challenges. Is there something that you haven't tried that you'd like to?
One thing, I was just thinking about this, and one challenge that I haven't tried yet that I honestly don't know if I'm ever going to try, because I don't know if I feel the pull, is skydiving. I just always thought maybe that would come up in a video at some point, and it hasn't yet. And to be honest, I don't know if it's something I want to do at all, but it seems like when you think of a challenge, everyone thinks of these daredevil activities. So maybe one day I'll be throwing myself out of a plane.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I went skydiving and I loved it. So I hope to see you go skydiving one of these days. That would be awesome. So think about it.
Yeah, I will get back to you on the skydiving idea.
Okay. So what about, is there anything that like that you would never do again? Or something that
I
you do
think,
every day?
there are two challenges that I did that I really didn't like the results from and would definitely not do again. One is the juice cleanse challenge. I did it
Uh,
because I saw a lot of my coworkers at Refinery were doing juice cleanses. And so I tried to do it. And actually, you'll see the video on YouTube is actually called 5 days of a failed juice cleanse, because by day 2, I had to eat real food. I just don't think that that works for my body. I'm already like a small human and I just need a lot of calories to stay alive. So never going to do a juice
yeah.
cleanse again.
Yeah.
And then the other one that was not so good for me was sleeping on the floor. I had basically poor night's sleep for 5 nights in a row and got sick after the challenge. So I love my bed.
Oh
It's like a soft
no.
cloud. Can't do it again.
Yeah. What about something that you would do every day?
Something that I would and do every day is things like meditation or yoga, all the lifestyle, all the positive lifestyle and health related challenges that I've done throughout the series have stuck with me. So I
Yeah.
definitely do things like, daily breathing exercises. And I don't meditate every day, but I try to meditate, in the evening when I can before bed to sort of wind down. And I'm definitely tracking my
Yeah.
habits all the time. I have a planner that has a really
Oh,
big habit tracking spread. And I love tracking health markers like that.
oh, that's so great. Now, how do you stay consistent with your content and your personal brand?
So there's a lot of planning and back end organization
Mhm.
that goes into being consistent. I do use an online planning tool that multiple members of my team are logged into, so I can sort of see all of our upcoming content, whether it's for Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Patreon or any number of communities that I'm managing. And I can make sure
Yeah.
that I have content that is being programmed out in advance so that, when we reach that point in time, I ideally at any given point in time, I have at least 2 to 3 weeks of YouTube content that's shot and either fully edited or already with an editor to be edited. And for Instagram, I like
Yeah.
to make sure that I can go into a calendar on the back end and have content lined up and planned out. Even if I end up switching things around on the actual day, I just like to have a bank of content I can pull from.
Yeah. Very organized. We do have a question from the audience here. How do you decide what to feature in your content and where do you get your inspiration from?
Really great question. I get most of my inspiration and ideas straight from audience comments. So that's why I always point out in YouTube videos, comment below and let me know what you want to see, because I really listen to those comments, especially if there is an overwhelming ask for one specific type of video, even if it's something that I personally don't understand or wouldn't think to do on my own. I try to listen if multiple people are asking for it. One great example of that would be years back, I got so many comments to try 5 days without looking in the mirror. And I was kind of like, what's the story
Oh,
there? As a producer, that didn't sound that interesting to me. Like, yeah, maybe I could do it, but I'll get by. Maybe the hardest thing is going to be not being able to see when I put my contact lenses in the morning.
yeah.
And everyone wanted to see it. So eventually I did the challenge, and it ended up being a very interesting challenge, but a very interesting video. And the video
Yeah.
did really well on YouTube. And so you can see on the back end that the views and the comments on it really do reflect how badly people want that piece of content. So I try to pull from
Yeah.
audience inspiration, but then I also do a lot of content consumption myself. So I think any creator needs to balance out their creative side with consuming and seeing what other people are doing and being inspired by that.
Right.
So I really try to give myself conscious time, dedicated time to watch other creators' content, not with a jealous eye or with a stressed out eye that I'm not doing something in that moment, but with really like a thinking cap on of how can I emulate this, or create my own piece
Yeah.
of content that's inspired by this. I love shouting out other creators if I'm using a video that I saw from their channel or their Instagram page. And I think that's the point. It's social media. We're supposed to be social, watch other people's content, and then add our voice to the world and share our version of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have another question from the audience. What is your favorite job you've tried for Lucy for Hire?
Oh, wow. I think I tried so many that I loved. Every single job, it's just always so incredible to learn how much goes into the back end of that job. But I think the one that was probably the most momentous for me was when I got to be a Radio City Rockette and I joined in the Radio City Rockette kick
That's
line.
so
Of course,
cool.
they didn't actually let me on stage at Radio City Music Hall. I had to do it in the back performance room without an audience, but I did get to put on the costumes and see the whole
Oh
backstage
my
set
gosh.
pieces and everything. And that was a really, really fun job. And especially as Christmas is coming up, I always like to go rewatch that video.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. What was the biggest thing you've learned from doing that particular challenge or
Oh,
Lucy for
well,
Hire?
from the Radio City Rockette challenge, I just learned how inflexible I am because I absolutely if you watch the video, you'll see my eye high kicks were pretty high for someone who's not a dancer or a rockette or even a gymnast. I was able to kick not as high as them, but it looked decently good in the kick line, and I just couldn't walk or even sit on the toilet the next day. Like, it was so painful to move around. So that was what I learned from that challenge. And just from Lucy for Hire in general, it really reminds me of how vast the world is when it comes to career opportunities. And we like to it's really easy in our world to think that, oh, do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a celebrity, a singer, or an actress? And it's like these categories that our teachers talk about and our parents talk about, but there's so many interesting careers out there and people making loads of money in some really interesting and unique fields that are artistic and creative and
Mm.
entrepreneurial. And just always, I got to be a hair colorist for a day. I got to be a dog walker for a day, a wedding cake maker. There's like so many incredible jobs out there, and it's really fun to explore them.
Ah, that's so cool. So, along with all of these jobs that you've tried, you've also worked for a few different brands, namely Refinery 29. Before you decided to break out and become your own boss, what inspired you to take that leap and what was that like?
Yeah, so I was at Refinery, as I mentioned, from 2015 through 2019. And that was really where I got so much of my start. That was where I built my audience. I really owe Refinery 29 so much of my success because they gave me the chance to put myself on display in front of their large audience, which then led to my own following growing on my own channels. And the time that I realized that it was time for me to go and that I was ready to go was, really slowly over time, my personal channels were growing and I was gaining followers and subscribers on my own channel. And I was doing a lot of side work outside of Refinery, which, the company knew I was doing and they were okay with it. But at a certain point, my side work was starting to become more of a time commitment and more of a financial success than my actual salary of being a full-time employee. And I was like, it's time, at a time like this, it's sort of a crossroads of, I really love everything I've done here, but I definitely want some more freedom and flexibility in my day. I want to be able to decide my working hours and not, work for a company. And B, if I'm going to be creating video content, all the stuff I created for Refinery 29, although I still use it as my own portfolio, it lives on their channel. So they're monetizing off of that for the next however long YouTube exists for. And I was like, it's time for me to start creating my own content on my own channels so that I own it and it's my intellectual property. And, someone gave me a really good analogy. They said, with Refinery 29, it's like you're building a pool in somebody else's backyard. And so I'm swimming in it for now, but the moment I leave, like, they're going to be swimming in my pool. And so I was thinking, like, I need to build a pool in my own backyard and own the property and swim in my own pool.
Right. Oh, that's such a great metaphor. So that leap has been super successful for you, that you're actually now teaching courses on how to become a full-time content creator. What are some of the main pieces of advice or takeaways you want people to get from your courses?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram branding course that's really focused on, building an authentic Instagram following. It's not about building followers necessarily, because we all know anyone could get followers tomorrow by buying followers. So it's really about an engaged and dedicated following that's going to allow you to build your dream brand on Instagram. And I know so many people that have below 5,000 followers and are making a full six-figure business on Instagram. So that's why I think it's super important for anyone in any field to have a personal brand for themselves on Instagram. And I'm currently working on another course that is going to be a little bit more of an interactive course. I think I'm going to actually teach it live instead of having pre-recorded videos, but it's hopefully going to be a YouTube course for helping people launch and build a successful YouTube channel. And I think for anyone who's interested in either courses or just content creation in general, my biggest piece of advice, no matter what age you are or where you currently work, is if you want to be a content creator, especially if you want to be in front of the camera and to be doing something similar to what I'm doing, just get started and start putting out your own content. The barrier to entry these days is so low. All you really need is a smartphone. You don't even need a professional camera, and you don't have to pay for editing software. There's free editing software, free apps that you can edit on, and free computer programs. So just get started and just start sharing yourself with the world and sharing your unique message. And I believe that there's space for everyone to thrive because everyone brings something different to social media.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that is a great way to end with that amazing advice, because we always ask for one piece of advice. It's been so awesome talking to you. We do have one more activity that we want to do with you in just a few minutes. So if you can just hang tight for just a bit, we'll be right back with you.
Perfect. I'll hang.
All right. Carla is going to tell us about some cool jobs that combine digital content creation with computer science. Let's throw it to Carla for Cool Jobs with Carla.
What a fun conversation. And it's not over yet. Like Lucy said, the career opportunities are incredibly vast. This week, we've been going into spaces where computer science intersects with larger interests like music and video games, social good, and digital creation. The use of technology continues to play a large part in our everyday lives, which makes the study of computer science a really useful tool. Jenny, I'm actually going to need your help exploring some potential jobs. Let's play the first round.
Augmented reality engineer.
Yeah, not to be confused with virtual reality engineers. We covered what they do on our episode on Monday that was all about video games. As a AR engineer, you use computer technology to add digital elements to a live view that users can interact with in the real world. Sort of if you've ever used Pokemon Go, or when you use a face filter on Instagram or Snapchat. All right, let's play another round.
Cool. All right, let's see what I get next. Front-end web developer.
Front-end web developers make a website work and look pretty. So they actually get to design how the digital elements get implemented on the web. Okay, let's do one more round.
Okay, last one. Mobile application developer.
Yeah, mobile app developers create applications for phones and troubleshoot bugs when they occur. And oftentimes, mobile app developers specialize in one type of platform, so they'll choose either iOS or Android, so you can really hone your app creating skills. For those of you watching, drop the job you would choose in the chat. If I had to pick, I'd probably choose being a front-end web developer because it takes my interests of design and writing and combines them with science and technology. Plus, every brand needs a really good-looking website. Thanks for joining for Cool Jobs with Carla.
Thanks so much, Carla, for that. We're going to bring Lucy back on to do a fun activity with.
That was so fun. I loved that segment.
Yeah, so Lucy, if you had to pivot and pick a career in computer science, what do you think you'd want to be?
You know, I think I might want to be a web developer. I'm currently working on building a new website for myself, and I'm finding it so fascinating how there's obviously the creative side that goes into designing a brand and designing all the branding elements, but the fact that I have to use like a drag and drop website to put this together because I don't know how to code or build my own page from scratch is a little bit upsetting. So maybe I'd want to be a coder.
Nice. Oh, maybe that can be your next thing that you're trying.
I really think I'm kind of shocked I haven't tried that yet.
I know. It's okay. There's still time. So you're all about trying new things and trying new jobs, and so are we here at Roadtrip Nation. And one of our favorite ways to explore new careers is by doing a cold call. So here's a sneak peek of a cold call.
And we would love to interview you. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
It went really well. I left a voicemail. I was nervous. I'm sweaty. I get sweaty when I'm nervous. Was it good? I was like, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name?
It's just a phone call to someone you've never met. Not that scary, right? So Lucy, do you think that you'd be up for trying a cold call to someone?
Definitely. I have to say with all honesty that I don't think I've done a cold call since I was maybe 17. So who knows what we're going to get, but I would love to try.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know. Same thing. I had never done a cold call until I got to Roadtrip Nation, and I was like, this is crazy. But thank you so much for being a good sport. We are going to continue our conversation about careers that mash up content creation and computer science. So we're going to have you call Martavius Parker. We did some research and found Martavius's contact info online. He is the founder and chief technology officer of a startup here in Southern California near the Roadtrip office. So I think he would be a great person to call. All you have to do is call him up and ask for one piece of advice for people who are interested in his career. How does that sound?
Sounds great. I see the number that you've sent through. So let me dial Martavius. Here we go.
Oh, okay, wait. Right before you dial. Not yet. So just always want to remind people that the call can go one of three ways. The first way, everything goes as planned and the person picks up, gives you great advice. Number two, you can also get their voicemail. So if you do get his voicemail, Lucy, just say what you're about to say, but say that you will call them back later. And then the third thing that can happen is you get a wrong number, and that is totally okay. That's happened before. So yeah, I just want to remind people that, it can go any way.
Amazing. So as long as I know that I'm not trying to prank phone call Martavius, I will feel calm and cool and collected. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm dialing. Martavius is a he, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to put on speaker and
Good luck.
Hopefully we can all hear.
Hello?
Hi, may I please speak with Martavius?
Yes, this is he.
Hi, Martavius. My name is Lucy. I'm currently working on a project about careers in computer science, and I came across your website online. So I just wanted to ask you if you had a moment, if you wouldn't mind giving me one piece of advice about your career.
Sure. About my career, dream big. Just please continue to dream big. Taking risks is not a thing that should be scary. Although it is scary, just continue doing what you can to continue to take those big risks and to make sure that you go for the things that seem impossible.
Wow, that is incredible advice. Thank you so much. I'm already dreaming as big as possible, and I'm going to expand my dreams even further.
It's great to hear.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I'm sure you are swamped with your incredible business, so best of luck, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Bye, Martavius.
Bye-bye.
Ah! Oh my God! That was so cool. How do you feel?
Well, honestly, first of all, I can't even say that if someone called me and asked that I would even talk. I might just be like, spam, hang up the phone. So it's so nice to know that there are people out there that would hear what you're saying and, chat with you, especially when there are so many robo-bot calls happening these days. That's just so nice.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's really fun. I feel like I want to do that to 10 more people just to rack up advice.
Yes, I love that. And we usually do this with our students, in an auditorium, and we bring them up on stage and they put the speaker on in a microphone so that all of their peers can hear. And a lot of the times they're all nervous about it, but when we ask them how they feel afterwards, they're like, yeah, we can do it again. So thank you so much for being a good sport about it.
Yeah, honestly, it gives you that sort of post-performance high feeling where you're like, ooh, I had the nerves, and then it was so smooth and so great. I could do it 10 more times.
Yay, amazing. Oh, well, Lucy, it has been so amazing talking to you. Do you have any last words for our audience tuning in today?
I'm going to mimic what Martavius said. I think my biggest piece of advice also is dream big. There are so many new careers, especially in the digital space and as a content creator and all things to do with computer science and digital technology. There are endless career opportunities. And as the digital space continues to evolve, there are more careers popping up every single day and opportunities that we maybe never would have even known were a possibility. It's funny to think about years ago when Snapchat wasn't a thing, and then all of a sudden Snapchat appears and hundreds of thousands of people have jobs working for this one app that was not even conceived the year before. So the fact that there are so many incredible people coming up with new ideas, just keep your mind open and keep up with the times, keep researching and learning about what's coming out, and just don't ever feel like there's a shortage of opportunities out there.
Yes, beautiful advice. Lucy, I loved talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. I will catch you online and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. I hope the rest of the event goes well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye, Lucy. No matter what career path you're interested in, it's super easy to do some research, find someone nearby who's working in the field you're interested in, and just do your own cold call. It's a really easy and rewarding way to connect with a local professional and hear candid advice about what their job is really like. Now, we're going to continue diving into the intersection of digital content creation and computer science. And no one's job combines those two interests better than Barbara Lee's job. She's a front-end web developer for the lifestyle and wellness brand Goop. Hey, Barb! And she's
Hey,
a
Jenny, how are
really good
you?
friend. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
This is so cool. I love that we're doing this together. I love that you're my friend and that this is the last event that we get to end with. So I'm super, super excited that you're here.
Me too. Our worlds are finally colliding.
I know. So to start off, we want to get to know you a little bit more. So we're just going to do a quick speed round, fun questions.
Great.
Okay. If you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
I would say adaptable.
Great word. How do you start your day?
I start my day with a lot of stretches and I drink a lot of water, and then I'll eventually get a cup of coffee.
Nice. And what time of day do you feel most creative?
I'm a night owl, so I think evenings are most creative for me.
Same. What's your favorite project that you've ever worked on?
I really like building new product pages for Goop. There's a lot of interactive features, and it's just a really well designed and laid out page. And they're different every time, so I learn a lot doing this.
So cool. Okay, last one. What is your favorite perk of working for Goop?
We have a lot, well, back when we were in the office, we had a lot of random celebrities coming in because we have a podcast, and they would come and interview with our staff. And one time I met one of my favorite authors, Malcolm Gladwell, in our elevator. So that was a really exciting day.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Did you ask him anything?
I was actually on the way to the parking lot, but I stayed in the elevator just to be like, I love your work. And I was super nervous.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to talk to him.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for playing the quick round. Now we're going to dive into your story a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you got into your career path?
Yeah. So I am a web developer. I didn't used to be a web developer. This is kind of strange, but I was a business econ major in my college, and my last job, I was at Old Navy headquarters as an operations analyst, and I helped allocate the payroll budget to like 1,000 stores in North America. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and it was a really technical, really detailed job, but I learned that it wasn't something I wanted to do for a long time. So yeah, I took some time off, and I started this boot camp. But my last job was what gave me that confidence to think that I could even try coding. So yeah, I did my boot camp, and I eventually ended up at Goop.
Nice. Can you just tell us a little bit about Goop and what you do there?
Yep, so I'm on the team that builds all the content that you see on goop.com. So the way it works is we have editors at Goop who will write all of our editorial posts and our stories, and then that content get passed on to our design team, who lay out these beautiful pages on on their design program called Figma, and then that program will be passed on to our web developer team, and we'll turn those display or design functions into code, and from there it gets published onto our WordPress and onto the Goop.com website.
That's so cool. Can you show us actually a little bit of what you do?
Yeah, I would love to. Let me share my screen. So this is one of the stories that have been published in the last few weeks. This is about just mood boosters, and this is one of our resident scientists. So this is something like what the designers will build. This is like a title, and this is what it would look like in HTML. And so, yeah, these are like different sections. This is just an example of like a more simple layout. And from there, I'll build out, this is the HTML, and then eventually it gets, oh, oops, on a VPN, but eventually it gets onto our goop.com website. And this is what it looks like for our readers.
That's so cool. And this is front end work, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So
So
yeah, so we hear that a
front
lot,
end,
like front end and back end and full stack development. What's the difference between all of those?
front end is everything that us as normal consumers can see on the website. So where the images are laid out, what the text looks like. If we go to this product page and this thing slides out, that's front end. If we click on this button, that's also front end, like how you kind of interact with the website and how it all functions. Back end is
Yeah,
everything that we can't see. So all of the data, the servers, everything that the website is run on is back end development.
nice. So what
Yep.
what does your typical day look like?
I'm going to stop sharing.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for showing us that and walking us through that. It just looks like a bunch of random numbers and letters to me.
Yeah, no problem. My typical day is that I'll sign on and look at my calendar to see what I have planned for today. Usually, we will do team stand up with our team where everybody will go around and share what we worked on yesterday, what we're planning to work on today, and if we have any blockers that are preventing us from moving forward in any of our projects. And then
Hmm.
from there, the rest of the day, I will be coding.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, I'll just review my calendar for the next day to see if I need to prepare for anything.
Nice. So when you're coding, you're building the platforms where people can then like share their content or build their personal brand. Do you think that front end development is a valuable skill for digital creators to be familiar with or to utilize?
Yeah, I think it's a very valuable skill. I think, like Lucy mentioned, if you want to build a website that includes like any sort of personalization, you'll have to know how to do front end or be able to hire somebody and be able to talk to them about like the kind of features that you
Yeah.
want on your website. Yeah. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
websites that are templated and like drag and drop, and it's really easy for somebody to build a website if you don't have any coding experience. But yeah, the minute you want to customize it or personalize it, you'll need to know a little bit of code.
Nice. And so, speaking of that, is there a certain skill or coding language that you think digital creators should learn?
Yeah, JavaScript is probably one of the most widely used types of code.
Nice. So, what kinds of other people in other careers are you interacting with, like on a day to day basis? And how does that collaboration work?
Um, I work with a lot of designers, so yeah,
Yeah.
like the image that I showed earlier, where they're building out a lot of the design layouts. That's
Yeah.
also part of our workflow in our company and the tech team to create these layouts. So depending on the company or depending on the type of work you want to do, there's a lot of variations of design and development, or there's roles that combine both. So a lot of options.
Yeah. Is there, if you can choose any job that's not yours in the company, what would you do?
Hmm. I think I would want to be um, on the product team. I think they spearhead a lot of projects that eventually help the company grow.
Oh, nice. Very cool. So, as a woman working in technology, have you faced any barriers or biases? And how do you get through those?
Hmm. I've actually had a very unique experience working at Goop, where most of the employees at our company are women.
Mm.
And I think everybody that I have worked with, both men and women, have been nothing but supportive and kind to me. So I can't pinpoint any
Oh,
like biases or experiences that I've
yeah.
had. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. What do you think most people get wrong about the world of computer science?
Mm, I think most people get wrong is that you need a computer science degree to do this
Mhm.
type of work. There are a lot of resources online to help you get started. And a lot of people in tech are self-taught and they've done boot camps, and it's all about um, pursuing something you're interested in. I found that a lot of people that I've encountered are all
Mhm.
really supportive and nothing but helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. We do have a couple of questions from the audience. First one is, what was the biggest challenge you had in learning how to code?
I think my biggest challenge is probably just the building the habit of like making sure you're working on something every day and doing projects that you're actually excited about, because that will take you a long way. So if it's easy to get stuck in courses or like YouTube or different videos that you're just watching, and you have to take that knowledge and build things with it to keep progressing your skills.
Yeah. Like actually applying what you learned, right?
Mhm.
Okay, we have another question. What is something you wish you knew about development before studying in your boot camp?
Good question. I think I wish I knew more. Hmm. I think I wish I knew kind of more like different opportunities to use the different type of coding, and I'm learning more and more about that, being in Goop and working with other types of developers. Um, yeah, there's front end and back end is like very high level, but within that, there's a lot of different um, paths that you can take to keep learning and building things that you're interested in.
Yeah, nice. Um, do you know of any like innovations or like things that are coming up in the future of computer science and tech that excites you?
I think something that's exciting to me now is seeing advances in computer science and um, how people are using that to um, slow climate change or kind of
Mm-hmm.
expand renewable energy. Tesla has been getting a lot of attention lately, and I think it's really interesting that they're investing a lot in their batteries. Like their batteries can now power homes and trucks, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's only the beginning of what people are trying to do with this technology.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Would you work for Tesla?
Um, I don't know. I don't think I've thought about if that's something I want to be doing.
Who
Well,
knows?
what is your favorite part about working with Goop?
Definitely the people. I really love the company and the culture here. Um, yeah, we kind of foster like open-mindedness and acceptance, and it's a very supportive work environment.
Ah, that's so good. It's so great to have a good company culture. And it seems like Goop has a great company culture.
Yeah.
So, okay, for students who are interested in your job or content creators who want to learn computer science to make their own website, what steps can they start taking today to start going down that path? You mentioned like doing a boot camp. Do you have any like similar courses or resources that you recommend for people who want to learn more?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of free or very low cost resources online for people who are interested in trying to learn how to code. Free Code Camp is a very popular one. There's a lot of courses on Udemy. If you are interested in creating projects or doing more practice problems like HackerRank and Code War, are all great resources.
Nice. Oh, it's been so fun talking to you, Barb. So we love closing out our conversation, like you heard earlier, with one piece of advice. For everyone watching right now, what is one piece of advice you have and that you would like to leave with us?
I think your curiosity will take you really far. I think it's important to follow what you're interested in, and you might not know where you will be in 5 or 10 years, but I think the more you follow your interests, the more you'll be on the right path.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we love talking about interests here too at Roadtrip. So that was perfect. That was a perfect ending. Thank you so much, Barb. We appreciate having you here. It was so fun talking to you.
You too. I love what you guys are doing at Road Trip Nation. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Barb. Have a great rest of your night.
You too.
Aw, that was so fun. I love talking to my friends. Okay, now we're going to throw it back to my co host, Carla, for quote of the day.
Thanks, Jenny, and thanks, Barb, for giving us a look into the life of a web developer. So cool. At Roadtrip Nation, we love talking to people all over the country about their careers. They give us advice on work, life, and everything in between. Today's quote of the day comes from Kimberly Arkan, the Visualization and Emerging Tech Lead at NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory. We met Kimberly in Boston, Massachusetts, while shooting a documentary film At Your Fingertips, which is all about discovering careers in computer science. Check out what she had to say.
To boil it down, what I do is I take data of some object in the universe and try to tell a story from it. Data in an archive has potential value, but it's not until you do something with that data, you tell some story with it, you bring it to some other form for a person or an audience, that data then has added value to it.
As a content creator, you're constantly taking information and sharing it as media on digital platforms. Kimberly reminds us to take the next step and really make something out of the information that we acquire. I think this message is crucial to understand as we continue to navigate modern life with technology in the age of information. All right, Jenny, back to you.
Thanks so much, Carla. I love that quote. That was the perfect way to wrap up this week of events. We want to thank you all for joining us this week. If you had fun or if you want to learn more about where computer science can take you, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out the rest of the cross-section events. We'll put the links in those to those in the description. I am Jenny from Roadtrip Nation, and I will see you next time. Bye.